In 1966, the U.S. Air Force introduced a groundbreaking aircraft, the SR-71 Blackbird. Built to replace the U-2 spy plane, this machine was designed for reconnaissance missions and boasted speeds over Mach 3, flying at altitudes of 85,000 feet. Constructed primarily from titanium for its strength and heat resistance, it featured black paint for heat dissipation and stealth. The Blackbird set multiple records for speed and altitude, becoming the fastest air-breathing manned aircraft. Equipped with advanced cameras and sensors, it was a pinnacle of intelligence-gathering technology. Regarded as one of aviation's greatest achievements, the SR-71 Blackbird influenced the development of later high-speed reconnaissance and stealth aircraft, like the B-2 Spirit and F-22 Raptor. However, the Blackbird was influenced by the B-70 Valkyrie, developed in the late 1950s as a high-speed, high-altitude strategic bomber capable of reaching 75,000 feet. Although the Soviet Union's air defense systems and interceptors were improving, intercepting an aircraft flying at such high altitudes and speeds remained very difficult. The Soviet Union saw this as a major threat because they did not yet have any defense against the B-70 Valkyrie and the SR-71. This spurred the Soviets to develop their own high-speed aircraft, resulting in the MiG-25 MiG-25. Designed as an interceptor to destroy enemy bombers and reconnaissance planes before they reached their targets, the MiG-25 focused on speed and range, carrying a minimal payload of air-to-air weapons and fuel. It had limited maneuverability and short mission durations. Though capable of speeds over Mach 3.2, it was capped at Mach 2.83 due to overheating issues from its stainless steel construction. The U.S. initially thought the MiG-25 was an agile air combat fighter rather than an interceptor. In response, they launched a new program that led to the creation of the F-15 Eagle. The true nature of the MiG-25 was revealed when a Soviet pilot defected to Japan with the aircraft. Upon inspection, the U.S. deemed it unsophisticated, noting it was heavy and not very maneuverable. The MiG-25 was later opened for export market, including to India in August 1981, though India's acquisition was kept secret for decades. The Foxbat had no defensive weapons, but relied on its Mach 3 speed and high altitude to evade attackers. It could detect parked aircraft, trains, ships, and assess the condition of bridges and other structures. The Indian Air Force frequently used the MiG-25 for special missions to gather intelligence on Pakistani armored assets for the Indian Army. The radar images captured by the MiG-25 were processed on the ground in a specially equipped van. An Indian Air Force official even claimed that the aircraft could map a country the size of Pakistan in just a few missions. In 1997, a MiG-25 entered Pakistani airspace at around 65,000 feet subsonically and photographed strategic installations near Islamabad. Upon turning back towards India, the pilot accelerated to Mach 2, creating a significant sonic boom as he exited Pakistani airspace. This action, though noisy, was seen by Pakistani security officials as deliberate, highlighting the Pakistan Air Force's lack of aircraft capable of matching the MiG-25's high cruising altitude. The MiG-25 operated at extremely high altitudes, usually between 65,000 to 80,000 feet, requiring specialized pressure suits for its pilots. These heights are in the edge of space, where the atmosphere is thin and pressures very low. At these heights, it flew above the effective range of many of Pakistan's radar systems at that time. It could soar above Pakistan's radar coverage. Pakistan's air defense systems weren't capable enough to track targets flying at such high altitudes and speeds. Even Pakistan's F-16s would struggle to intercept the Foxbat, mainly because the F-16's operational ceiling is lower than 80,000 feet, which means it can't easily reach or engage targets at such high altitudes without specific tactics and support. Pakistani F-16s, dating back to the Cold War era, lacked air-to-air missiles capable of matching the Foxbat's speed. The AIM-7 Sparrow missiles, carried by F-16s, had altitude limitations that might not effectively reach such heights. Intercepting a MiG-25 would require coordination with ground-based radars and possibly airborne warning and control systems to detect and track the high-altitude target effectively. However, the Indian Air Force knew how to avoid Pakistani radar. Unless Pakistani air defense units anticipated the IAF's approach and adjusted their radars upward, the IAF could penetrate enemy territory undetected. During the Kargil War, when India requested GPS data from the US, but was denied, the Foxbat proved invaluable to Indian forces. It mapped Pakistani targets before Mirage 2000s arrived to strike them. Flying at lower altitudes than usual, the Foxbat lacked established standard operating procedures and needed to maintain specific speed and altitude for clear photography. Despite vulnerability to ground missiles and enemy interception, the IAF conducted risky missions, sometimes supported by their top air defense fighter at the time, the MiG-29. The resulting photographs were remarkably clear, revealing entrenched Pakistani troops deep within Indian territory. The retirement of the Foxbat was influenced by several factors, with India acquiring high-resolution, remote sensing satellites capable of reading license plates on parked vehicles. The need for manned reconnaissance flights over enemy territory diminished significantly. The MiG-25, once a pinnacle of Cold War technology, began to appear outdated in this new era of satellite reconnaissance. Another critical factor was the issue of spare parts. Russian suppliers had closed down the factories producing Foxbat components and disposed of the blueprints. This made it increasingly difficult for the Indian Air Force to maintain and support their fleet of MiG-25s. While the era of supersonic reconnaissance flights may be over, the legacy of the Foxbat endures in the tales of its daring missions. Hopefully in the future, the IAF will release more details about these operations, showcasing how they outmaneuvered their adversaries